What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Today's video is going to be a little bit different, but I'm super excited to share this new series that I'm starting called Stories from the Blind. Essentially, this series is going to be me sharing my personal hunting stories over the last couple years since I started whitetail deer hunting. These are stories that I've not yet shared on YouTube because I've stopped filming for the last couple years, but now I get the opportunity to share these hunts, some funny moments, some frustration, and some really cool celebratory moments that I'm looking forward to sharing with you guys. And of course, we will be continuing the series going into the 2026-2027 deer season as well, which I'm so excited because it's only 4.5 months away, and I'm really looking forward to sharing it with you guys. Today's episode is titled The Hunt I'll Never Forget because it's got some comical moments in it, but more importantly, it's the buck that I'm the most proud of harvesting so far. So, without further ado, let's get into it. It all started on the morning of January 23rd. I got up super early to come hunt this spot that's actually right behind me, which I like to call North Blind. I got out here around 5:30 in the morning. I sat for a couple of hours, and unfortunately I didn't see anything. But what I did see was a buck and 4 does on my trail camera at the other spot that I was not hunting that day. So naturally, I let excitement take over. I got out of my blind and I tried to sneak up on the deer that were at the other spot. Unfortunately, they were already gone by the time I got there. I probably spooked them off, who knows. Now the rest of that hunt is actually going to be a separate video because I did end up getting a deer that day. Not the one I wanted, but it's going to be a separate video. So about a week later on January 29th, I went hunting again, and this time I went to the south blind where I'd seen all those deer on camera. I got out there around 5 in the morning. I had a full cup of coffee with me to keep me warm, which is a key element to this video, so stay tuned. Anyways, I got out there, got my blind all zipped up, and I was sitting there just waiting. Sun came up around 6:30. It was super cold, but it was a beautiful morning, and then I ended up taking a short nap. Fell asleep around 7 o'clock, and I woke up at like 7:15 with a sudden urge to use the restroom. That's right. That big old cup of coffee I had made me want to pee so bad. It was ridiculous. So mind you, I had not seen any deer to this point. So I'm like, okay, the chances are low that there's a deer nearby. I don't know why I was thinking that, but I was. And so I stood up, I closed all the windows in my blind, and well, I had to pee. Without going into too much detail, I was doing my thing, and through the little crevice of the window, I happened to see a face staring in my direction. Upon looking a little bit further, I happened to notice that there were 4 does about 20 yards in front of me. One was staring right at my blind, and I thought for sure that she had seen me or smelled me or something, and I thought my day was just already ruined. In my head, I'm thinking to myself, are you kidding me? I mean, I've been sitting here for 2 hours, haven't seen or heard anything. The moment that I stand up to go to the bathroom, you're telling me that 4 deer walk in? Anyways, I wrap up what I was doing and I sit back down. I start to open all the windows of my blind again and getting my rifle ready just in case something that I was after showed up. Now, while I was sitting down and getting all set up, I heard some twigs snap, and all of the does kind of spooked, but they didn't run off. So I knew something was up. Right after that, the buck that I saw the week before walks right through the herd and goes straight into the woods. Once again, I'm thinking, you've got to be kidding me. I've wasted this. This deer just walked right by me into the woods. So at this point, I'm scrambling. I take my rifle off the tripod. I'm sitting there out the side window like, okay, I'm gonna get a shot on this thing. And I was just doing some absolutely crazy things. Now, throughout all of this, that doe that was right in front of me is still staring at me. Now, she's a young doe. She's not quite a fawn, but she's definitely a yearling. So she might not know any better, but in my mind, I'm thinking, please don't blow. Please don't stomp your hooves. I just really don't think this is gonna work out, but yet I'm giving it my all. To my surprise, that buck that walked through all those does turns back around, and he comes around a pine tree, and I'm thinking, all right, here's my chance. So I set my Savage 308 back onto the tripod, and I've got this deer in the crosshairs. Now mind you, there are 4 or 5 does around me, and I'm really trying to stay still, trying to be really quiet, trying not to breathe too heavily so that they don't smell my breath. But in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, there's 4 or 5 does. That's what, 8 or 10 eyes that could stare at me at any given moment. So I'm trying to be very careful and very cautious, but I put my crosshairs right behind his shoulder. Now at this point in time, he was still still walking. He was trying to, I think, get to the feed that I had thrown out. And so I had a perfect broadside shot, so I tried to stop him, and I let off a mock grunt. And for you non-hunters out there, this is kind of what it sounds like. Anyways, I let one of those rip. Every doe stopped, put their ears up, but that buck just kept walking. He could care less. So now I've got 4 does on high alert, and this buck is still walking, so I let out another grunt, and he stops, which gave me the perfect opportunity to shoot him a little punch with the 308. I let a round fly, he goes running off, the does start running in circles, they eventually make their way out. Internally, I am freaking out because I'm a new hunter. This is the best deer that I've had a chance on yet. Immediately, I texted my dad telling him, hey, I took a shot. I'm very confident in it. I'm going to give it about 10 to 15 minutes, and then I'm going to go and look for a blood trail. After that time frame, I did get out of my blind, and I walked to the area where I believe the shot made impact, and I'm looking, and there's no blood. There's no fur, there's no hair, there's no blood. There is no sign that this deer I shot has a wound. But once again, I was very confident in my shot, so I decided to follow the trail of where the leaves and the dirt was shoveled up from his hooves when he took off. It wasn't until about 20 yards later, following this trail of messed up leaves and dirt thrown everywhere, that I found a very tiny speck of blood. I began to follow this trail of blood, which very, very quickly turned into a bigger trail of blood, and about 20 yards from where I first found a drop, there was a dead deer. This is the moment I started freaking out. I was so excited because I had hunted all year long, really wanting to tag a really nice buck. And in my eyes, as a new hunter, it might not be the biggest buck out there, but for me, it was a very, very cool moment and a moment that I will forever be proud of. The first thing I did when I got there, I obviously gave thanks to the animal, but more importantly, I gave thanks to the Lord for giving me the opportunity to harvest this beautiful creature. And it's always a little bit of bittersweet because deer to me are such beautiful animals. I really do love deer. Now, on the contrary, I also love harvesting deer and eating them. Right after that, I called my dad, let him know that I did get the deer and it is down, and I really wanted his help dragging this deer out. However, he was in a meeting at the time, which meant I had to drag it from the furthest point on our property all the way back to basically where I'm standing, which is pretty far. But that's okay. I'm a firm believer in nothing comes easy and you got to do some hard work. So I made a couple calls to some friends, ended up FaceTiming them, showing the deer that I had just killed, and then I began the process of dragging it all the way out here. Once we got back out here, I ended up taking a few pictures before I began the cleaning process and before we took it to our deer processor that we have close by. I ended up field dressing it myself just to save a little bit of money, plus I think it's really good to stay in tune with that kind of thing. Ended up taking it to the processor. We got some sausage links, some jerky sticks, some ground venison, some back straps. It was great, and we've already enjoyed a lot of that meat. I also decided to get this deer skull mounted. I didn't do a full shoulder mount just because it's not the buck that I am just like, man, I've got to have this thing hanging on my wall, which I guess in theory I still am. However, it's not as expensive, and honestly, I don't want to drop that kind of money unless it's a deer that it's just like, man, I've got to do this. So that, my friends, is the story of the deer that I'm the most proud of and a hunt that I will never forget. I still can't get over the timing of when these deer decided to walk in on me as I was using the restroom. You know, it's just kind of funny. You're sitting there and you're thinking, you know, you hear things in the woods and you're thinking, okay, they're about to come in, or here they come, and then they don't, and it just ends up being 20,000 squirrels. And most of the time when I have been hunting and successfully harvested a deer, it's been at times that I have least expected it. So that pretty much wraps up this first video in the new series that I'm calling Stories from the Blind. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of these style kind of videos. It's really new for me. I don't really do this much. In fact, I tried to film this video sitting down and I just couldn't get comfortable with it. So let me know in the comments what you guys think, if there's anything I should change, if there's anything I should add or take away. Just let me know. I'm kind of feeling this out, giving a little test trial here. Obviously, I'm still out in the outdoors where it is just a beautiful night, and I couldn't ask for a better night to film this video. I plan on releasing a few more videos in this series over the next couple of months, and obviously going into the deer season later this fall. Very hopeful that I will have some content for you guys, and I'll actually be able to film the hunts themselves. I'm working on getting some new videos out over the next couple of weeks, so make sure you guys stay tuned for those. And as always, I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch my video. It means a lot to me. If you don't mind, hit that subscribe button below if you haven't already, and that like button. It helps me out a lot, and it helps my content and my channel grow. The biggest favor I can ask of you is to share this video with one of your friends or one of your family members. Again, just help spread the word that I am a new content creator and I'm just trying to get out there. But once again, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Again, in the comments below, let me know what you like, you dislike, or what you think I should add, and things like that. I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.